Hi, my name is Mark Serrazano. I'm a registered piano technician from howtotunepianos.com, and I want to talk to you about learning how to tune a piano orally. I've done a lot of research on this, and I've tried to answer the question, what is the most difficult thing about trying to tune a piano orally? And there's a lot of things that we need to learn, but there's only one thing that takes time, and that is being able to hear the beats. If you want to learn to tune a piano orally, you must be able to hear the beats, and not just hear them, but hear them very clearly. If you've been following my YouTube channel, you've probably seen a video of me using a tunable audio bandpass filter. Now, I discovered this thing about 10 years ago, and since that time I've been trying to get a company to develop this thing so that I can sell it and help other people be able to learn how to tune pianos by ear quicker and more easily. Well, I tried. I sent this unit, and the unit works. It just needs to be amplified before and after the filter, and I sent it to China. A Chinese company said they could do it for me. I paid them $1,000. I sent them all the equipment, and they never did it. They never sent me my money back. They didn't send me my filter back, my amplifiers. They just ghosted me. Never heard from them again. An American company said that they could do it. I reached out to them. They sent me a prototype. Didn't work. Independent electronics technicians have tried to help me, and they've all quit because they couldn't get it to work, or didn't have the time, or weren't interested. A student of mine who really wanted it. He saw how it worked, and he really wanted this. So it convinced me that if I wanted this thing to be done, I had to do it myself. So I did. And this is the unit right here. The filter is on the bottom. All the amplifiers are on the top. There are 3 preamps and 1 post amp. The 2 amps is not enough. The 3 amps was too much. So one of the amps has been turned down to reduce distortion, and then the post amp volume is that button right there. It's a notch filter and a peak filter, so bandpass filter. So it will let through only certain frequencies, or it will filter out only certain frequencies. That's the notch filter. We don't need a notch filter. So I've covered over the front and replaced it with markings that make sense for a piano tuner. So this notch and bandpass filter, just leave it up. It says here, leave up. And this is the frequency. Turn this knob and it will dial in the specific frequency that you want to hear. And this button here will make it a very clean, narrow band of frequencies that are let through. Or if you turn it all the way down, it doesn't filter it at all. That's it. So let's get this thing working. First of all, you just plug it in. One input in the back you plug in, and you can see the lights are coming on there, showing that the power's on. The microphone is an accelerometer. An accelerometer needs to vibrate in order to pick up a signal. So there's less feedback. And this is a Korg instrument mic for tuning instruments in loud environments. It's meant to be clipped onto the instrument, but there's a rubber side to it. And the other side, this side here, is very hard. And it needs to really be clipped on hard onto the piano so that the signal is nice and strong. So what I've done is this. I've put this clamp on here. I've epoxied this on, and all you have to do is just clip it onto anywhere, really. This is where I'm clipping it, just like that. And then the microphone is plugged in to the back. Like that. If you turn down the bandwidth, all you get is an amplifier. It's just amplifying the piano. Now if we crank this up all the way so that it only lets through a very thin line of frequencies, I want to show you how this thing can be used to tune a clean unison. So here's A4. We can dial in A4, but you can also dial in A5 and E6 and all the partials. You should be able to hear E6, la 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 la. So if we tune out that beating E6, so E6 seems to be still, and then when you turn it off, we've got a clean unison. The E6 is still moving away. There's the A6. There's the A5. Not beating. All of the higher partials are beatless. And the unison is clean. So now we can take this, dial it on A5, and check our 4-2. So the top one is slower, which makes the top lower. This is how I teach interval sizes. This is a pure interval, a wide interval, and a narrow interval. And when we use the beat speed tests, I say that the slower interval is the lower note. So this would be the major third, that's the major 10th. Since the major 10th is slower, that makes it lower. This is a narrow interval. And if we want to make it a pure interval, we're going to have to lower the bottom note. And I'm going to use the double string unison technique. And we're going to be listening at A5 for the unison. Now we're going to detune it just a little bit. String. It's still too fast, the bottom note. And that's a pure 4-2. You can dial in the 4-2 here too. Another way is to test the fourth, which also has an A5. This fourth here, A3, A4, also has a check note of A5. You hear the fourth is beating. Without the unit, it's not as easy to hear. But now, is that fourth wide or narrow? Well, we'll use the check note F3. And now we have a major third and a major sixth. And that's the test for the octave. La 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 la. La 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 la. So the sixth is much faster. Without the unit, it's not as easy to hear. So that's how I'm using this band pass filter in real time to help people be able to hear those elusive beats that are so incredibly necessary, but at the same time so difficult to hear when you're starting out. I hope that this is something that you think is useful and worthwhile. And if you want any more information on it, just reach out. You can email me, mark@howtotunepianos.com. Thank you.